Right, here we go. Brady Harris, how are you, champion?
Good, mate. How you going?
Take two, mate.
Take two.
Mate, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for doing this, mate.
You're all right?
So you've been back at Aridi training for a couple of weeks now? 2 weeks?
Slowly. Once a week at the moment.
How's it been being back?
Sore as hell. I was training pretty good at the start of COVID, but in the last few months, slackened off a fair bit.
Yeah, so you were training pretty regularly, hey, before COVID?
Yeah. I was starting to get into it. Not quite as much as like your likes of GC.
Yeah, he's been pretty regular lately. What prompted you to come back?
Summer coming up, basically.
Yep.
I'm starting to get pretty soggy after the whole COVID period of time.
Soggy is a good word.
Just feeling good about yourself. It always makes you feel good about yourself when you sort of consistently start coming to the gym. So
Yeah, 100%. For those people that probably don't know you, you've been trying to get to the 5:30 classes.
yeah, trying to. A bit hard getting out of bed in the morning some days, but especially when it's cold. I'm
Yeah.
the biggest fan of the cold.
It's been pretty busy. That's the most popular class too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Which is
a bit hard. You got to book in sort of
Yeah.
the morning of 2 days in advance, otherwise you're not getting in.
What have you found the hardest in the last 2 weeks coming back into it? Is it the soreness or just getting up? Or
Getting up,
Yeah,
the
the
cold
motivation.
weather, motivation, getting up.
Yeah.
Once you're out of bed, it's not too bad. Once I get to the shower, I'm fine. But it's just that initial jump out of bed.
Yeah.
That's a killer. Hopefully, I'm booked in for tomorrow, so hopefully I'll turn up.
You'll be right. Mate, I just wanted to dive straight into the present. You own a couple of businesses at the moment?
Yeah, so I've got Harris Kitchens and Joinery, which is my main business, you could call.
Yep.
Been going for nearly 6.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Started out with a little factory by myself in North Richmond, and now we've moved to Mulgrave, and there's a 6th person about to start in the company. So
Yeah, okay.
slowly growing.
Awesome. So how did that all start? What made you want to start your own kitchen joinery business?
I had a bit of a falling out with my old boss. I used to do a fair bit of work on the side, and then he was sort of getting greedy, taking, pretty much all of the profits out of it and keep them for himself. So I thought, why not get my own factory and have a crack myself? And in hindsight, I was probably a bit naive because I didn't have much work lined up or anything. But if you put yourself in that situation, you sort of got no choice but to make it work. So
Yeah.
all's well that ends well.
Do you remember the day where you said, fuck this, I'm going on my own?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was one big job and there was a fair bit of profit in it. I'd been spending Sundays, night times, my lunch breaks, weekends, whatever time I could working on my own work. And then it got to the end of it and he took sort of 90% of the profit and said, oh, this is the reason why, this is the reason why, this is the reason why. I'm like,
Ouch.
fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
I bend over backwards to you every day of the week and try to make a bit for myself on the side, and you want to take most of it. And that's what sort of triggered me to think, get out on your own and have a crack for yourself.
How old were you then?
25, nearly 26, I think it was.
Yeah, that's young to have a go.
Yeah, exactly. I sort of leased out a factory, and then once I got the keys, I'm standing in my factory thinking, fuck, what do I do now? I need to find some work. Lucky a few things fell my way, and ended up buying a few machines and things, and here we are today.
Did you lease it or
Lease the factory, yeah.
And that was at North Richmond?
Just at North Richmond there, yep.
How long were you there for?
Up until the end of last year, so 5.5 years.
Okay, so there's a good run there.
So yeah, it was a good run. Just outgrew it. Served a purpose. It was massive when we started, and after a couple of years, it was just full, working over the top of ourselves and nowhere to store anything.
So go back right to the start. So you got the keys, standing in the factory.
Yeah.
What was the first thing? Was it get staff, get work, get machines? What was your process?
Had every intention of just outsourcing like the cutting and the edging and the sort of process of it and putting everything together by myself in the factory. First step, I sort of got some work through a mate, just subcontracting with him. I'm a shop fitter by trade, so we're doing some shop fit outs, and we did some massive weeks in shopping centres, and that sort of got me financially a bit more on my feet. And then ended up buying some basic machines, and word of mouth, sort of a few friends wanted work done, and then their friends wanted work done, and as most businesses do, it starts to grow from sort of that platform.
Yep.
And didn't put on any staff for probably 2 years. I used to have mates that helped me. I had a mate that was actually a copper, and he'd obviously work, block work or whatever you call it. And so he'd help me at a time my installs around that, and then my mate's dad would help me. Another one of my mates would help me a couple of days a week, and then it wasn't probably maybe 2 years until I put on my first apprentice.
Yeah, wow. So you're just growing it organically.
Yeah. So
No business plan or anything?
No business plan, just all in my overthinking mind of mine.
Oh, mate, that's great. And I think that's sometimes you can overthink, businesses with business plans and procrastinate and try and make things perfect.
Yeah.
But best way is just to jump into the deep end and just go for it and, just be authentic.
Exactly right. I look back on, especially like mid-20s was party time, and I don't know how I made ends meet at some points. So partying midweek and, Mondays you were never there early. But
so you got your first apprentice?
So I got my first apprentice, a bloke from, I just advertised a bloke from Orange named Haydos. He was a weapon.
Was he?
He only left about 6 months ago because he wanted to move back to Orange, and I couldn't offer him enough money to keep him, but he had his heart set on there.
What are you moving back to Orange for?
Yeah, I know. Miserable, cold,
big smoke,
hot.
mate.
Yeah. And he just missed his family and didn't have really anyone. He moved down here just for work and rented a unit by himself, but ideal worker. Just worked, never complained, never had sick days.
Showed up on time,
and he didn't ask you 100 questions a day, just knew what to do.
Eager to learn.
Yeah, love learning and love drinking.
Sort of goes, work hard, play hard.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So how old was he when you put him on?
He was 21, so he was mature aged apprentice. So
okay. When was your next employee after that?
So I had people sort of here and there, and had a mate that I used to work with that worked a couple of months with us, but full-time employee was Ryan, who I still got with me now.
Yep.
Yeah, he started it's probably 3.5 years ago now.
Yep.
That was a big step, like putting on a tradesman, because obviously apprentice wages are a lot cheaper, and I was sort of always daunted by the thought, and that's what I always do, all the hours and all the time myself. But yeah, it's the best thing I could have done, starting to put on people and take the pressure off yourself, and you can sort of focus on the business more rather than having to do everything. So
you start working on the business and not in it. And
correct,
so much. But then I guess having staff then creates
more headaches.
a different element that you need to worry about and focus on.
Pros and cons to everything.
Yeah. So fast forward to now, you've got 6 employees?
No, there's 6, including myself, about to start.
Yep. Okay.
I've actually got my old boss is actually doing all my installs now. I've got my fiance's little brother helps with deliveries, so there's a fair bit going on at the moment.
Yep. You predominantly do kitchens?
Custom homes, mostly custom home joinery fit out. So, kitchens, walk-in pantries, laundries, alfresco areas, vanities, study units, TV units, anything joinery, basically, some wardrobes.
Yeah, okay.
That's sort of our bread and butter, probably 90% of our work, and then there's sort of bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah, okay.
Odd kitchen renovations and, done a little bit of commercial work, but it's a bit of a headache.
Are you still going by word of mouth, or do you do a lot of advertising?
Not too much advertising. Got socials, Facebook, Instagram. I've got a lady that actually did a job for 4 or 5 years ago, and she looks after social media, so she's looks after that side of things for me.
Yep.
Which is probably one of the best forms of advertising these days, and it's free. So
100%.
I'll get a fair few inquiries off that.
What's your Instagram page, just for a plug?
Harris Kitchen and Joinery.
Follow it, guys. Give it a follow. I've seen your some of your work on there, and it's awesome. Like, I've said to you before, I rent, I don't own, but it makes me want to have my own kitchen, seeing some of your work, mate. So
thank you.
It's definitely quality.
I'm sort of lucky. I've had the opportunity from some local custom builders where people have sort of had the budgets to experiment a little bit and sort of go that step further. So I'm sort of lucky. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to be able to do a bit nicer work and not just do the same thing day in, day out. That's what keeps it exciting, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Can you remember a job that was your most challenging?
Actual work, not really. Clients, yeah.
Okay.
I won't go into names, but one recently, absolute nightmare.
Oh, really?
Just, yeah. I won't even mention her last name, but it speaks words about her.
Yeah, leave it at that. Have you had any strange requests or?
I had someone ring me and ask if I can build them a coffin.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty odd, and I'm like, it's not really up my alley, and I'm sort of a bit creeped out by it at the same time.
Probably cheaper than a funeral home.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's probably what they were looking for. And the coffin's 5-10 grand these days. Yeah.
Mate, if I go, just undo one of the sides of a plyometric box
exactly.
and just shove me in there somehow. And
we join a couple of jump boxes together and just get you in there.
Yeah, just chuck me in there. My old man used to say, I don't want a box, just throw me in the gutter of Parramatta Road. Yeah. Yeah, right, Dad.
It needs a bit more than that.
Yeah. So how long have you had the business? 6.5 years?
Yeah, nearly 6.5 years, yeah.
What's been your biggest lessons?
People won't do for you what you do for them, generally.
Yep.
Which is a pretty sad thing to say, but, there's a lot of good people out there, but there's a lot of not so good people, I guess, out there. Everyone's always full of false promises, like... A lot of earlier days, I've always been young looking at them. I was still young at 25, 26 when I started. People always like, just do this stuff on my house, and then I've got all this work coming up, and then you do the work on their house for next to nothing, and then all that work never comes up. So I think I learnt that real early, and that was a big lesson that, people will promise you the world, but don't bank on it.
Yeah, go by people's actions, not their words.
Exactly right, because everyone, I drove up the Central Coast for this job and I did it for next to nothing. They're like, no, I've got my whole house and I've got my friend's house and this and that. And then I did this little job for next to nothing. I remember I finished it Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve one year, I got home at 10 o'clock at night finishing this job for them, and then I never heard from them again. So
wow.
That was an early lesson learned, which I'm sort of glad I learned it early.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that's what it is. It's all lessons in business, isn't it?
Exactly really. Right, yeah.
Would you start the way you started if you could go back 6.5 years? Would you do anything differently?
Trying to think what I'd do. I'd definitely do things differently. I guess just like you said, it's learning as you go. Everything's good in hindsight. Looking back on it, probably put on staff a bit earlier. Like I'd probably taken on too much workload myself, and I still probably do. Every time I put on a new staff member, it's probably been 6 months to a year later than I should have, really.
Yep.
Yeah, probably not be so hesitant with putting the staff on. I was never hesitant with buying, machines or anything like that. But yeah, hesitation with putting on staff would probably be one big thing I'd change.
Yeah, okay.
I was always scared of like another wage and, that's going to cost me this much a year. How am I going to cover it? But you find a way to make it work.
Yeah, they sort of become calculated risks.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
Yeah. What prompted the move to Mulgrave?
My landlord was a dick, number one. But we outgrew it.
Can you shed any light on what made him a dick?
Oh, he's just a wanker. Like, just little clauses in the contract, and I was young and naive, signed this contract, so it's a 1 + 1 + 1, so you get the option after the first year. Got to the end of the first year, and I said, I want to go on for the second year, and he goes, no, if you're reading the clause, you've got to tell me that 3 months out. Here's a new contract, put my rent up. It's just things like that, and then strata and everything just went up. But the main reason they're outgrowing it, so...
A-grade dick.
Yeah, he's a wanker.
Yeah.
He still is, nearly, yeah. I avoid the area to avoid him. Yeah, the main reason to move was I ended up buying my own factory at Mulgrave, so...
Congratulations,
thanks, mate. So that was a long time in the planning.
Was the decision to buy your own unit come out of dealing with a dick of a landlord? Or was it more of I want to have an investment?
One of my builders that I sort of look up to, I speak to him a fair bit. I was talking about leasing a bigger factory somewhere, and he goes, whatever you do whatever it takes, try to buy your own factory, would be the best thing you ever do. And I was dead set an hour away from signing another lease at a new factory at South Windsor. Mm-hmm. And then I spoke to him, he goes, don't do it. Like, do everything in your power to buy your own factory to be the best thing you ever do. And he was right. So thanks to him.
Worked out all right.
Yeah.
So you're definitely glad about making that decision?
100%, yeah. Now it was like a lot of effort and a lot of stress, and because I bought off the plan, it was sort of delayed longer than it should have been. I was getting kicked out of my other factory, so it was sort of stressful period of time, but in hindsight, yeah, definitely one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Mulgrave are you?
It's Park Road, around the corner from Bunnings there. Mm-hmm. Just in the new complexes. Yeah, 17 units in our complex. We're stuck down the back corner.
Yep, okay.
Which is good, away from everyone.
Yeah. So do you have a showroom there, or is it
showroom's half done. So we built the structure for the showroom. I finished all my offices upstairs and things like that, but we just sort of actually build the joinery for the showroom, which is something we're trying to do short term, next couple of months.
Yep, cool. So if anyone wants a kitchen or some work done,
just hit me up.
What's the best way?
If you're from the gym, obviously just come chat to me, or email me, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Yeah, there's a million avenues these days. So
yeah, awesome, man. Like I said, like the work that I've seen you do is just quality, and
cheers.
Thanks for doing those plyometric boxes.
That's all right.
My future coffin. Yeah, so mate, that's awesome. If life wasn't hectic enough, you've gone and bought another business?
Yeah, so bit of a different story. My fiance, I'll refer to her, sounds still weird saying that.
What's her name?
Bree.
Hello, Bree.
She's always wanted to get involved into business herself. She was going to buy into her current boss's business. Get a lot of advice off my accountant and was sort of talking to him about it. And he goes, if you're going to invest money, why don't you get a Pinot and Picasso? So yeah, I actually know the couple of guys that own Pinot and the whole business of Pinot and Picasso. They actually started, the first store was in Penrith. Mm-hmm. And now we've ended up buying a franchise at Gladesville.
So for people that don't know, what's exactly Pinot and Picasso?
So Pinot and Picasso is Australia's #1 paint and sip experience.
Beautiful.
Basically, don't be deterred. It's not a painting lesson. No one judges you. It's just an excuse to get on the piss and have a good time with your friends, basically. Like, I've got zero artistic ability and I've done it a few times and everyone seems to have a good time. So
yeah. I've seen some of that artwork that comes out of that place.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And actually, because it's a step-by-step process, what you think you can't do, you can actually sort of do. You know what I mean? Like, if you just follow the basic instructions, obviously the detail is not there for punters like myself, but you're actually pretty happy with what you can come up with.
Yeah. Why Gladesville?
They tell me one won't work in the Hawkesbury. I'm still skeptical of that. I'd love to open one in the Hawkesbury, but they've done all the data and the target market of people and how what areas and mapped out areas that will work. You know, the local areas, Rouse Hill, Castle Hill, Blacktown, Penrith, all taken.
Yep.
And they said, why not Gladesville, or like the right area? And then we looked at the shop, and within a couple of weeks we signed the lease. I think it's people are pretty, I know, trendy and sort of into art, I feel like, from Gladesville, sort of Putney, Hunters Hill, with that sort of area. So it just felt good from the get-go. And we've been open 6 weeks now, I think.
Where are you, on Victoria Road?
Victoria Road, yeah. It's on the main stretch there. So,
and it's got its own Instagram page as well. And
Facebook.
So Pinot and Picasso.
Pinot and Picasso Gladesville, yeah, correct. Yeah. So check it out.
How do people book in?
Just on our website. So there's links on Instagram, Facebook. If you just type in Pinot and Picasso, it takes you to the main website. You can click on Gladesville store and shows you all your artwork and all your options, and book a group and get on the piss together, basically.
Can you drink anything other than wine there?
Yeah, bring whatever you want. So
it's just BYO?
It's just BYO. We don't have a liquor license or anything. Bring your own food, beers, wine, spirits, whatever you want.
Yeah. How long's a standard session?
2.5 to 3 hours is probably standard sessions. Mm-hmm. Do different events like pop-up events where we go to people's houses and things like that. They're usually 2 hours. Christmas parties, hens nights, things like that. It sort of seems to be pretty popular for. So
yeah, okay. Could we have one here at Brady?
Yeah,
that's like a pop-up.
We could, but what the grey area is, if there's a pop-up on location, the nearest store gets it.
Right, okay.
So that's sort of had like some connections in, like, say, the city and things, and they're like, oh, we'll bring you in for the team building events, and they're like, oh, actually the nearest store gets to it, and it's sort of you win some, you lose some. Yeah. So
yep.
We could maybe do it on the sneak.
Nah. Well, what we could do is, so how many people can you fit in the store?
At the moment, just because of COVID, with 17 total, so sort of 16 people with the artist working there. Yeah.
We need 16 Ariti souls.
Exactly right.
And we'll carpool it down to
Exactly right.
Yeah, all right.
I'll just get a minibus and I'll drive everyone in.
We'll make it happen, don't worry. Speaking of COVID, with your two businesses, how have you handled this time?
So, if anything, with the joinery business, it's been busier than ever. I think I've had a lot of builders' work sort of land at this point. I think people are just sitting at home, nothing to do, thinking, how can I...
Staring at that kitchen.
Yeah, staring at the kitchen, or need a study desk because I'm working from home, or need new wardrobes, and people can't travel, so people are probably saving more money than usual. Some people are crazy enough to be getting a super out to do house renovations. Probably not the smartest move, but each their own.
If it adds value to if they own the house, or even if they're paying it off, but if they're pulling money out, you can get 20 grand.
Yeah.
If you can pull that out and renovate your kitchen, or even study, and you can add value to the home.
It's still sort of an investment in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of, if it adds value to the home, then you're probably not losing as much.
Yeah, you're right.
But so yeah, that's probably fair that, you know, they've been sitting at home and, you know, I want to renovate something and I've got the money here to do it.
Yeah, so why not?
Yeah.
I think, construction's still going crazy. With the Pinot Picasso, I think it's a little bit steady. I think people are still pretty COVID wary and wanting to stay home and not be around other people and book too much or anything. So making ends meet but not flying in there. But
that will change. Like, I think people slowly start to get more confidence in being able to go out soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to warm up a little bit. I think people are going to be tempted more to go out and sort of
100%.
get back to a routine.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think you'll open up more Pinot and Picassos?
Oh, there was early intentions.
Definitely one here in the Hawkesbury?
Yeah.
So are they against one in the Hawkesbury?
Oh, they're just not sure it'll work. So I've been in like the owners, one of the owners, Aaron, I speak to regularly. And I'm like, I reckon I can make it work. And he's like, I don't think so. So maybe further down the track. I said, don't let anyone else do it before you offer it to me. Give me first right of refusal. But
give me first dibs.
Intentions and at least trying or doing some pop-up events instead of sort of getting feedback to see if it would work. Or
how's Bree found it?
Yeah, pretty good. She enjoys that a lot more than her current work that she's doing. So it's all just a positive sort of atmosphere. There's no like stress and there's obviously stresses of owning the business, but everyone's so happy and it's a fun activity and everyone's drinking sort of thing. So it's not like you can't really do anything wrong. Basically, it's just all positive.
Yeah, mate. The videos and pictures I've seen that you've put up on the Instagram page, it's just people having a good time.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's what I was just drinking with your mates.
How can you go wrong? Where with the kitchen joinery? Where do you want? Are you hoping the business can evolve to? Or do you have a long-term goal in mind, or
not more staff? I don't want more staff. Staff are a headache. As long as I've got good I've got good boys under me, sort of thing. But I don't want to be one of these guys with 20, 30 workers. It's just
focus on
too much
quality.
overhead. Yeah, too much concern. I'm sort of looking into sort of outsourcing a lot of manufacturing and more like managing jobs rather than being the manufacturer, the installer, things like that. I think that's probably where I want to be at, managing staff and always looking after everything sort of creates too much stress.
Yeah. You're happy at Mulgrave?
Yeah, I'm happy. It's so central to everything. I live in Wilberforce, so it's not too far from there.
Yeah.
Straight on the Windsor Road. Down if we're doing work sort of down towards the city. So around the corner from the hardware.
Yeah.
It's pretty convenient.
Just around from Bunnings?
Yeah, just around the corner from Bunnings.
Yeah, so where is your majority of your work?
Done a heap in Pitt Town, a heap in North Richmond, sort of like the new home developments. Travelled as far as down the south coast, Newcastle. Big job. We just finished in Matraville. So we will travel for the right jobs, but try to keep it local.
Yeah.
Got a big job coming up in Palm Beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 3-story house overlooking the wharf and the lake or whatever you call it there.
Tough life.
They're the jobs I sort of enjoy doing back because they're sort of not just for the money side of things, but they want to do things that are creative and sort of classier and more style rather than just your sort of day-to-day average
just
kitchen.
Your stock standard.
It's sort of more enjoyable, that work, and makes me love it more.
Do you find that they get a bit more creative with their...
Yeah, or they let me get creative if they're sort of... Some people are sort of tentative and want to hear the answers from me, what they want. Some people know exactly what they want, so that's I sort of usually have to gauge what level they're on, and usually I suggest ideas to sort of people like that, and they're like, yeah, let's just do it. Just do it. So,
I saw one bench, like you had a bench, and on this side of the bench, let's say you got the kitchen on one side, the bench, and then sort of the stools and living area. Then you had drawers coming out of the bench.
Oh, maybe a door on the other side. Yeah.
And like just for storage. And like,
you can never have enough storage. It's always a big selling point, especially when people are going to sell.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and just when you think about those things, you can get a bit creative and a bit clever with stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Not just doing your plain white kitchen every day of the week sort of thing. It sort of breaks it up a little bit and doesn't just become repetitive.
Yeah. Do you do staircases?
Nah, I never learnt.
That'd be a pain.
I made a mini staircase set when I was at TAFE. I think I still got floating about somewhere, but I wouldn't know where to start now.
They just look like a pain in the arse.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen big, especially like when they're metal stairs, I've seen them go in and then the bottom rises 30 mil out and have to remake the whole set of stairs again. Ridiculous, yeah.
When you go in and put in a kitchen, do you find a lot of like walls out, floors out?
Depends. Like most of the builders I work for around here, pretty good. Like pretty lucky. They're pretty, they frame straight and then, laser their floors and things like that. So pretty good. But then especially renovations, like the boys at a renovation today, it's 15 mil out of plumb one wall. It sort of throws everything out. Then we've got to start modifying cupboards on site. And
because you probably don't, especially the older houses, it's hard to factor in a cost too. When you've got an old kitchen sitting there, you got to rip that out and put a new one in, and you don't know the problems behind.
Yeah, any surprises you might get. So we don't do too many renovations. Sort of like I said, bread and butter, sort of new homes. But you do get your sort of 20, 30-year-old homes. You might find surprises and a bit of mess. That's why we try to avoid them if we have to.
Yeah. What do you? Right now, looking back in the last 6.5 years, is there one thing that you're really proud of?
I know it sort of makes me proud being a hard worker. I've put in a lot of time. So just sort of growing the business by myself and not really haven't been fed any money by anyone or, I've just I feel like I've done it all myself basically without having to get too much advice off too many people. So it sort of makes me proud that I've made it happen myself.
Yeah. Going from realising don't treat me like shit. I have some value. Standing in an empty factory with your keys to where you are now, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah. Cheers.
No matter what industry you're in or the type of business, usually there is some core elements in every single business that if the ingredients in that is right and the mixing of that is spot on, your business is usually doing well. Yeah,
exactly right.
No matter what industry you're in.
All of them work hard, so I've always been a big believer you got to put the time into it. Things don't just happen, you got to make them happen. So
100%, man.
A lot of them, we sort of talk about how the stupid hours we do and
what is a normal week for you? How many hours?
Usually do like 6:30 till 7:30 Monday to Thursday, sort of 6:30 till 5:30 on a Friday, and then sort of half day Saturday. So probably at least 60 hours a week. Sometimes early days, I remember I did a 400-hour month. Jesus. It was 4 weeks of 100 hours a week.
How'd you feel at the end of that?
Oh, exhausted.
Just toast, eh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I wouldn't be able to do that now. I'd fall asleep, I reckon, on the job.
No one would blame you, mate. 400 hours in a month.
Yeah. It was ridiculous,
How many jobs are you pumping out with that?
I was subcontracting. That was real early days. I was subcontracting with a mate. We were working in the shopping centre. So that was a Chatswood Chase shopping centre. So that was 400 hours apart from driving back and forth to Currajong. So
Jesus.
We'd get home at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning and then wake up at 5 and go back there. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Nearly falling asleep on the freeway on the back on the way home.
Yeah.
So
that's hectic, man.
Yeah.
You can't go back to those days.
Nah. Pretty good money subcontracting, but doing that sort of hours, especially when you're fresh off wages.
Yeah.
You're fresh off wages on bloody $24 an hour or whatever it was on to, subby rates and those sort of hours. You feel like you're flying at that point.
Yeah, going nuts. Do you want another beer?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I'm going to grab one. One sec. All right, back. Round 2. Whereabouts did you grow up?
I lived in Blacktown until I was 5, and then we moved to Currajong. And I lived there for the best part of 20 years.
Yeah,
a little stint. Lived in Whistler in Canada for 6 months.
Jesus, how did that come about?
Lived a snow season down Jindabyne when I was maybe 21. I think I was. It was just the life down there, partying, snowboarding.
I can imagine.
Hardly working. Yep. Just living the bum life with your mates. I think there were 7 of us and 7 of us in a big unit.
Yeah.
It was just,
What'd you do down there?
Cleaners, so.
Oh, fair dinkum.
We used to, I was a bed maker. I used to make all the beds. But it was good money, so we'd subcontract. It was just on an ABN, and I think we were getting $28 an hour, which is a lot of money when you're 21. Yeah, and then we did that, and then a couple of people talking about going to Canada, and I was like, I've got nothing to lose, why not?
Yeah. Were you with Bree then?
Nah. This is years before Bree. So.
Yeah, rightio. Do you make your bed at home now?
Nah. I'm first out of bed every day, so it's good I don't have to. But
perfect.
I used to make 30 beds some days.
Wow. Did you find anything interesting?
Yeah, dirty tampon was probably the worst.
Oh,
filthy.
Jesus.
Disgusting, but...
Any sex toys or anything?
Nah, nothing exciting. Nothing. Sniffed a few sheets, but no good.
We little story from the cops. When we used to do search warrants, it used to be a bet on who could find the sex toy the fastest.
Yeah.
So
it'd be common.
Yeah, always the bedroom was the first room checked.
Everyone wanted to go to, yeah.
100%. Yeah. So what was Canada like? Whistler.
Yeah, unbelievable. One of the most scenic places I've ever been.
Yeah.
More cleaners again over there.
Made more beds.
I made more beds, yeah. Cleaned bathrooms and all the rubbish, but it was pretty cruisy because like people would stay there for a month and we'd go to clean their house, and because everything was always snowed in, like the bosses couldn't check up on you. So I remember cooking like full roast meals in people's apartments because we were there to clean and they had so much leftover food. Like we'd sit down and have a sit-down meal for a couple of hours because the roads are snowed in, so the bosses weren't driving around everywhere. Like we were only just being able to get there. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, the lifestyle over there was unbelievable. We had like a little snow park in our backyard and had lights set up and speakers in the trees, and it was just, yeah, dream lifestyle. I was speaking to my mate. One of my best mates, he lives in America now, but I was over there with him and we're like, life was so much simpler back then. There was not a worry in the world. We just partied and snowboarded and did minimal work and still made things work.
Did you ever ski or did you just snowboard?
Nah, just snowboard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you skate? Were you on a skateboard? But like
a little bit, no good, but no good. I'm the worst surfer in the world. I've tried a few times. I'm just like, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah. Did you pick up snowboarding pretty quick?
Yeah, I wasn't too bad at snowboarding. I never got real good, but like I picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty peaceful, just sort of cruising down the mountain in the cold air with, a bit of music on your headphones and.
Yeah. Do you get down there much now?
Nah.
When was the last time you were there?
2 years ago was the last time I was there, so I was meant to go down a few weeks ago, but then we opened up the Pinot Picasso, so that sort of put an end to that. But yeah, I'm keen to get back down at some point. I don't think they've had much snow, but recently they have. But it's been the worst snow season to date in forever. So
okay, maybe next year, brother.
Yeah, maybe.
What's the sort of temperature does it get down to in Canada?
Where we lived, it hit like -6 to -7, I think, off memory, but it wasn't ridiculously cold. I think I always found when you live at the snow, it doesn't seem as cold. Like if you look at the temperature, I think because you're prepared for it and you're rugged up in jackets and beanies and thick socks and things like that. It never seems as cold.
Yeah.
But we'd wake up some mornings and have half a metre of snow at our back doorstep, and we'd have to dig it out sort of just to get out of our door.
Really?
It's a cool sort of lifestyle like that.
Did you ever want to go back there? Would you do it again?
I don't know.
Like it'd be hard now if you.
Yeah, obviously now, but after,
maybe holiday there.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I want to see a lot of other places I haven't been to before then, but I'll definitely plan on getting back there one day.
Yeah. Have you travelled much elsewhere?
Yeah, I've travelled a fair bit, to be honest.
Whereabouts have you been?
Been to Fiji a few times, Japan when I was younger, America a few times, Thailand, Bali. Did Europe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, mad.
Trying to think. That's about it.
What's your favourite place?
I don't know. I have a favourite. Different places for different reasons. I think the biggest surprise package is Queenstown, New Zealand.
Really?
It's just
for skiing?
No.
Or just adrenaline sports?
Scenic, small, cozy town. So close to home. You don't have long flights. People are good there. Just a relaxed sort of atmosphere and not too expensive. I think it's just sort of surprising. I've been there 3 times in the last 18 months sort of thing.
Wow. What's the sort of cost like a week there? Like just to ski?
It's nearly the same price as heading down to sort of Perisher or something here. Like,
yeah, you'd probably go there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's more mountains. It gets real windy. Over there. It's been like I went there for a week probably 8 years ago, and we snowboarded 2 days out of 10, 2 days out of 8 or whatever. How many days are there because the lifts were always shut because of the wind. So I think that's probably the only negative. But
Yeah.
I like different places for different reasons. We did like a boat tour around the south of Italy. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
Went to like Mykonos and Eos and Santorini, is it? Santorini, the one with the amazing sunsets.
Like you go into every holiday unit and they've got that picture of all the white
the white stairs and
Santorini?
That's Santorini. Yeah. So I know. I think I had so high of expectations that it was a little bit of a letdown, if anything. It was the last step of our Europe trip we went on a couple of years ago.
Did you like party hard over?
Yeah,
Mykonos
Mykonos and I was starting to feel my age at that point.
How old are you now?
I'm 32 now, so I was 30. I was 30 when I was there, and had a couple of all-nighters, and it just ruined me.
Everyone 40 plus right now. I know what you
know the feeling. Yeah,
100%. What did you love about Fiji?
Just being relaxed in sunshine, and I've been there. That was the first country I ever went to when I was probably 8 or 9, and then I went back a few years back just with Bree, and just laying around the pool, just drinking beers all day, and do a bit of fishing, a bit of kayaking, a bit of whatever. Just forget about,
just relax,
the stresses of the world. Just relax.
Yeah,
we're on an adults only island, so there's no kids running around being annoying or anything. And but yeah,
what did you like Bali?
I like Bali. So I've been to Thailand a few times. I think I've been to Thailand 3 or 4 times, and everyone's like, Bali's way better. I think I like Bali better, maybe because it was new to me, but cheap for what you get.
Cheap as.
8 of us went for my birthday. I think that was last year, maybe the year before, maybe last year, and we had this like massive villa that was unbelievable, and it was so cheap. And
whereabouts did you stay?
Uluwatu, I think it is.
I have no idea where that is, but I've been to Bali once. I fucking hated it.
Yeah, where do you stay?
Right in the guts of Kuta.
Yeah, okay. So this is Uluwatu, I think. Kuta's like the young party area. Uluwatu is, I think, an hour, half an hour away from there. It's a bit more, it's still party, but a bit more relaxed.
Yeah. I felt like I described so I had 5 nights.
Yeah.
And it seemed like I was in Parkley Markets with a broken sewer.
It doesn't smell the best.
It was filthy.
Yeah.
And like just shit everywhere and just dogs everywhere and just, I don't know, it was hot and I hated it.
Hot and humid through the days. It's just like, you just got to stay around the pool all day until the sun disappears. So
100%. So
I'm not going back in a hurry unless that's the first place that opens with COVID. But again, it's cheap and you can duck away there for 4 nights and you've had a decent holiday.
I think I need to go back and experience something different than that main street of Kuta.
Yeah, so I haven't even been to Kuta itself. I've driven through it, but I haven't actually been there. Yeah, I've heard it's a bit of a shithole.
With this COVID shit, like, man, they're talking 2 or 3 years before.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I say maybe places like America, The biggest concern will be when you get back if you got to quarantine for a couple of weeks or.
Yeah, that won't be so bad. I think I saw a newspaper article that they were trying to create a bubble between Hawaii and Australia.
I've seen that, but there's no way that the government's going to let us come back and not quarantine.
Nah, definitely not.
So, you have a 2-week holiday, you got to have 4 weeks off work. It's not real feasible.
All right, so they get a vaccine for COVID and everyone's got it and they reopen everything. Where's the first holiday you go?
Back to Europe.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're meant to be in Europe 2 weeks ago. Doing what we didn't do last time, like Croatia, and I want to go to Auschwitz and sort of don't mind a bit of history and go to Germany and Ibiza, whatever you call it. Yeah, I'm getting pretty old for that now.
I'm not even going to try.
I still have a crack. I'm just going to plan like 2 days of rest after my one big night. I can probably get away with.
Yeah.
Still young at heart, but physically, I think it's starting to take its toll.
Mate, we all are, and the older you get, you just got to. It's like quarantine or isolation. You sort of I'm going to have a big night, but then it's a self-isolation.
Exactly right.
But as you get older, it becomes like 2 days, becomes 3 days, becomes 4 days, and
even just having 6 beers now, I sort of wake up a bit groggy.
100%.
Before we used to have a heap of beers and every weeknight. And just go to work in the morning at 5:30 and it wouldn't be a concern.
And then back up again. You go again. now, mate, you have a big night Saturday night. It's Wednesday before you're feeling good
Exactly,
again.
100%. Yeah, and sometimes takes a week depending on the night.
Oh, shit. Getting married?
Yeah, so we're meant to get married in January. We're engaged 2 days ago. It was a year since we got engaged.
How's all the planning for that? Are you still on track for that? Or
yeah, so we're meant to get married in January and we've had to push it back because we're getting married in Queenstown in New Zealand. So,
are you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Somehow convinced her to get married on a golf course over there. It's where they hold like the New Zealand Open, the golf. So
she must love you.
Yeah, I think she liked it as well. We went and visited and it's real nice.
Yeah.
So we pushed it back to November next year, but still starting to get a little bit skeptical of that as well.
Yeah, okay.
But surely another, 15 months away, surely.
Yeah, I hope so. Do you think everyone will get to travel, like family and friends?
Well, that's what. Yeah, I don't want to have not having a wedding over there for the sake of having a wedding over there. If everyone can't come, then we'd probably just end up finding somewhere here to get married. So
yeah, okay.
We might push it back a few months after that, but if it gets to a point, we'll just probably end up getting married here somewhere.
Yeah, okay, fair
But
enough.
I've got my heart set on that, so it's hard to.
Yeah.
It's unreal, the place, and
Surely, in 15 months, Australia and New Zealand will sort their shit out. And
I hope so, but then
bubble going on where we'll have some travel, but to and from, because the economies just can't cope. They won't.
100%.
They won't be able to, not have tourism for 15, 18 months.
Exactly right. Yeah,
It just can't.
There's a lot of people sort of hurting at the moment, especially tourism's killer.
Yeah, 100%. Do you follow sports? Are you into sport?
Yeah, I love the footy.
Yeah,
NRL, not the other sort of footy.
Yeah. How have you found? Okay, for me, because I love footy as well. I haven't enjoyed a season like 2020 for a long time. I find it exciting. I find there's so much drama on and off the field.
100%. Yeah.
How do you find all the rule changes and the?
I think, a couple of rule changes definitely made it a bit more entertaining. I think a lot of injuries due to like the short preparation and
heaps in there.
Heaps of injuries, so it sort of brings some of the, for the Roosters, for instance, and Melbourne, that brings them back to the field a little bit. So, there's just a lot of games now. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Who do you follow?
I follow the Knights. Just for the record, Josh Jackson is no good, Mike. Oh, he was so passionate about it. I love you, Mike, but
mate.
He's not a bad player, but he's not a great player. I was watching that the other day.
Mate, I love Rito, mate. He's like that. The passion from him is just second to none.
Yeah.
And so that is just the best. Like I've listened back to that podcast a few times.
Yeah, I was listening a couple of days ago.
Pissed myself laughing. That's it.
You're so shocked by Sammy just saying he's no good. What do you mean?
What? Josh Jackson. Anyone's on the market.
He's a good player, but he's not. You can't compare him to some of the others.
Yeah. But like when he played State of Origin, man, he was back. Like go back 3 to 4 years. Man, Josh Jackson was probably the first one I was picking for New South Wales.
Yeah.
So I get where Rito's coming from. It's just like if we're starting a new franchise next year, he's definitely not in my mind anyway. But I love Rid. I love doing the podcast.
I've listened to a couple of those.
Sammy
Seems
and
like a lot of fun.
Like it's awesome. It's a lot of fun. So Knights, what do you think of Blake Green?
Yeah, I know that was such a good addition to the Knights, but it didn't last very long. I think it took a lot of pressure off Pearce and even Ponga as well. Didn't have to try to do everything himself. But Pearce, their kicking game hasn't been too good, and Green sort of brought a bit more sort of calmness to that, but no good for Green. I think he's going to the Bulldogs now, I read today. Yeah,
he signed 1 year deal next year with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, him and Josh Jackson, the old men.
Mate, you should be happy Tyson Frizzell's coming to the club.
Yeah, gun player.
How long have you supported the Knights for, and why the Knights?
I think since around 97 when they won the grand final against Manly.
That was awesome.
Always been a big Joey Johns fan. I think that's when we sort of turned to the Knights. My whole family goes for Parramatta. A heap of my mates go for Parramatta. It's pretty enjoyable watching them every year thinking it's their year and then not happening.
And they're doing it again this year.
It's happening again this year. They've gone flat. Like they're winning, but they're not winning like a premiership winning team.
Yeah,
they're getting by, but they're not convincing. They went through a little phase there early after COVID. We were like, oh, they might be going all right, but
yeah. Got everyone's hopes up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do every year. And I'm in group messages with my mates, and they're like, "Nah, we're looking good this year." And I'm like, "It's going to happen like the last 35 years."
Yeah. So I'm a South man.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
we're playing Para tonight. So
okay, I've got my tips in.
Yeah, make sure you got an hour and 15, bro.
Last time I left here, I didn't have my tips in and missed the game, and I actually was going to pick the score.
Get in there. Get your tips in, bro.
Equal first. I've got to get them in.
So my brother, while you're doing that, my brother, my sister-in-law, and my 2 nephews.
Actually, I've got them in. I've actually picked South.
Good boy. Actually, I've picked Para tonight.
Have you?
Yeah, because
win-win situation.
Yeah, I'm happy either way.
Yeah, I do that myself.
Yeah.
I just reckon South have looked pretty good recently, and
Para
looked a bit flat, and then the other couple that are equal leaders to me, they're big favourite betters. You know, every week they'd sort of pick 8 favourites. So
yeah,
if the only way you're going to get ahead is sort of picking underdog and see what happens. Could be a turning point.
Mate, that 97 grand final that Newcastle won, that's one of my favourite games of all time.
Yeah, 100%. Darren Albert at the end.
That. Yeah.
Good for the sport too, like a big country, well not country, but like a big town like Newcastle sort of winning. Like.
Yeah. Where do you think Newcastle are going to finish up this year?
6th or 7th. I don't think they've got a chance.
Okay.
They're different level. They're not on the same level as Penrith and Melbourne. I think it'd be Penrith Melbourne grand final. I've had to put my money down.
Jeff Tuvey picked that last night on NRL 360.
Did he?
Penrith and Melbourne.
Yeah. Okay. That's if I was a betting man. That's why.
I still can't write off the Roosters.
They find a way.
Yeah. Like
a few injuries.
To come back in the next couple of weeks. They've got Courtner to come back, Tupou. They've got a few.
Yeah. Orbison's last year.
Yeah, so Warrior Hargraves just come back. Oh, Keary.
Yeah, that's
so they got a few to come back, but
Robertson finds a way for him to get up at the right time of the year.
Yeah, I think the cream will rise to the top, and that top 4: Panthers, Roosters, Melbourne. I guess the Raiders.
Raiders aren't looking too bad now, but they're just missing Hodgson, I think, for the season, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see how
Para, no chance for all you Parramatta fans.
We just didn't even mention Parramatta.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Wow.
I don't even see him as a quiet achiever that can get up there. I just can't see him winning. Moses isn't mature enough. I don't think experienced enough for my liking as a
you're
premiership winning team.
You're right. I think they're just lacking that maturity, that one elder statesman.
Yeah, so Gutherson does a good job of it. Like he carries it. He's carried them to a couple of wins, I feel like. But their halves aren't mature enough for me.
Do you go to many games at all?
No, I've been to... Newcastle's always had a thing. They've always beaten Parramatta, no matter where. Like they'd be dead last, and they always beat Parramatta. So I've been to a couple of games with my Parramatta fan mates. Obviously, Para won this year, but like the last couple of years, and watched the Knights beat them. It's been unbelievable. Yeah,
it's good, mate. You had a story where you had a good time up in Darwin.
Yeah. So
can you share that?
Last minute decision. There was a Darwin trip that was sort of on offer, and it sort of got to got close. I'm like, I can't do it. I got to stay for work. I was having a few beers one night, and then my mate Carter and Corey, they rang me and they go, Darwin's next weekend. We're booking your flight now. Just come. I was on the piss and I was like, fuck it, just book me tickets. Turned out to be one of the best trips I've ever been on in my life.
They always are.
Oh, it's just the last minute, unexpected. I'm like, I don't think much of Darwin because I've never been there. Didn't know what to expect.
So what was the purpose of it?
So it was a Darwin Cup, like the horse races, and then one of my mates sort of had tickets through Ladbrokes. We paid for our flights and that, but then we were in the Ladbrokes tent for the Darwin Cup, and dinner evening night. The second night we got there, or the first night we got there, and so on the table at the first night, the gala night, that's what it is. Yeah. Sitting at the gala night, and it's me, my couple of mates, got Laurie Daly, Alfie Langer, and then Jimmy Cassidy sitting next to me. So that was our table. There was probably 12 people on the table.
Pumper.
And little Pumper next to me, and then little Alfie, and then Laurie Daly. So was sort of like,
how did the night
I
go?
was sort of sober and sort of taken back a little bit. But then once I started having a few beers, everyone's just loose and laughing and carrying on. And I still speak to Pumper probably once every few weeks now. He only lives, I can't remember what it's called, but probably half an hour from here. So I still speak to him, catch up with him every now and then. And
what's he doing these days?
He just does a bit of guest speaking, and he's got like a charity golf day and bits and pieces, and not too much, just still, a little bit associated with the horses, but I think he's just sort of living his life, loves a bit of gardening. I've been out to his house, and he's got a mini golf course around his house, and pristine lawns and gardens.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How did you strike up the convo?
Well, he was sitting next to me, and we just sort of started talking. And,
what did you just talk about?
I wouldn't have a clue. It was about 40 schooners deep at this point. They had free, like they had bottles of red wine and spirits. So this was a massive this gala night. There was that many people there. It was unbelievable. Walking around with oysters and all this sort of carry on. Like we didn't belong there, but I don't know. I probably started talking about horse racing as if I knew what I was talking about, and probably Googled a couple of things to sort of pretend I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know. I think we talked about golf and where he lived. And
do you remember talking to Alfie and Laurie Daly?
So after the first night, the boys sort of slept in the morning. I was feeling like shit, and I'm like, I'll fight fire with fire and get back down the pub.
100%.
So I think the gala night was the Friday night. No, the gala night maybe was the Saturday night, and we woke up Sunday morning. One of the other boys, Mark, that was with us, he's a football manager, so he sort of knows Alfie and Laurie as it is. And he goes, let's go down the pub. And went down the pub, and it was just...
What time's this?
This is about 10:30 in the morning. Like, we went to bed at 4 or whatever it was, something stupid.
It's the best.
So it's about 10:30. I'm absolutely fucked. I'm just like, no, I've just got to get out of bed, otherwise I'm going to lay. Hot, sweaty. Yeah. This was like in... what month? In August, so it's cold down here, but it's hot and sweaty up there.
Yeah.
Get down the pub, spend 2-3 hours sitting at the table, me, my mate Mark, Alfie Langer, Laurie Daly, just sitting there drinking beers, me and Alfie having fireball shots. It's just surreal. Like, you're surrounded by people that you see on TV and sort of elite at their sports, and we're just sitting there at a pub having a beer with them, and people coming up asking for signatures off them and things like that. It's just like...
Wow.
But both legend blokes, like...
Yeah.
Not cocky, not had the time of day for you, sort of.
Yeah. I've never heard a bad word about them too.
Yeah.
Like,
just
always got the time of day for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, good time, like... In having good times.
Just loved to be like...
Yeah.
Yeah, then we went to another place and we're sitting with them, and the other boys come out and we're getting 40 shots at a time with Ladbrokes are putting it on for us. And then me and Alfie after Darwin Cup, we went back to this pub. I can't remember what it was called. It was Loose As. Everyone went back there. Me and Alfie up on stage singing karaoke, and it's just a full carry on.
What are you singing?
Oh, I can't remember. I would walk 500 miles. I think I remember Alfie singing that. And he doesn't have the best voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a last minute decision to go on. It was one of the best weekends we ever had.
Yeah, they always are when you especially when all the boys are rallying around and they're going.
Yeah.
And you're humming and hawing.
Then had the red eye flight on the way home, so we were at the pub till midnight, and then had a 2 a.m. flight. So we went from the pub straight.
2 a.m.
Yeah, it's called the red eye flight from Darwin. So we went straight from the pub to the airport, flew home, and then got back to Sydney at 7 in the morning. And I didn't sleep on the plane, and I was a mess for about a week after that.
I was gonna say, how long did it take you to recover?
Oh, at least a week. Like, just lack of sleep and alcohol abuse. But
wow.
I wouldn't change it. It's one of the best memories I got.
Yeah. So, have you kept in contact with Alfie? And
no, not really. Nah, like
more pumper.
The link through more pumper. Like, I speak to him sort of every few weeks probably. But
yeah,
I've been with my mate Mark, who knows Alfie, and sent a couple of photos and a bit of carry on to each other. But yeah, not too much.
Had any other trips like that?
Oh, that one's a standout.
Yeah, that's...
Boys' trips are always standouts, but that one was next level. I think, like you said, you can plan as much as you want, but a fully planned trip as against an unplanned trip, the unplanned ones with the surprise packages are always the best.
100%.
You can look forward to a Bucks party for a year and struggle to exceed expectations. The surprise ones like that was just... Yeah, next level. And the last minute decision, like the weekend before, like, fuck it, I'm just going to go. Just do it. Who cares? It's 3 nights.
Yeah.
But if we go again, I won't be doing the red-eye flight on the way home.
Yeah. Mate, that's a killer.
Oh,
I caught a red-eye flight from Perth back to Brisbane. Mate, landed in Brisbane about 6:30 a.m., something like that. And I couldn't sleep on the plane.
Yeah.
But we had to check out of the motel, and so you're just at the airport drinking, from 6 p.m. and then you get on the flight at something like midnight, and then you're back at Brisbane, at 6:30 or something like that, and I was just wrecked.
Yeah.
Wrecked.
Just takes a toll on your sleep deprivation.
Yeah. So, do you have any fears or phobias?
Oh, I hate needles.
Yeah?
I just hate needles, I think.
It's good. You can never be a junkie then.
Yeah, exactly right. Remember when I was a kid, I was probably maybe 7 years old, and I remember I got splinters up my finger, like 4 splinters the whole way up my fingernail. And I was in absolute agony. And I remember being at the doctor looking at this big needle, and they wanted to give me anesthetic to get him out. And I remember just screaming. And I think since then, I just hate needles. And when I get blood tests, I'm like, I can't look at the needle. I'm just like, I don't want to see it. And they're like, are you sure you're all right? I'm like, as long as I don't see it, I'll be all right. And it makes me cringe.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, the sound of the bloody thing at the dentist. The zzz, that's torture. Lots of teeth accidents when I was a kid, knocking out teeth and crashing push bikes and knocking out teeth, and fell over on a boat and smashed my teeth out on a boat, and I've always had mouth injuries. So the dentist, broken lots of bones and things like that. And
so you ride bikes too, don't you?
Yeah, a bit. I used to ride a bit of motocross, a little bit of freestyle motocross.
Yeah.
It was all right. I wasn't the best, but a lot of concussions, a lot of broken bones and things like that from back then. So
what have you broken?
I break everything on my left and I tear everything on my right. So broken toe, foot, thumb, hand, wrist and skull. I cracked my skull when I was a teenager. That's all on the left side, and I've done ligaments in my ankle, my MCL in my knee, and I've got a loose joint in my shoulder that clicks on my right side. So,
Jesus,
a bit going on.
Yeah. How'd you do your skull?
I think we were 15 or 16, left school early, riding motocross bikes at my house. Had a bit of a track, and then my mate around the corner had a track. I remember we're going from, everyone was at my house, and we'll go around to my mate Jason's house. I remember I had to turn the alarm on in the house and lock up the house. I had my gloves on, and I was trying to do up my helmet strap, and I couldn't get it done up, and everyone was sort of taken away, already taken off. I'm like, fuck, I'll catch up to him. Come around this tight, I end up catching up to him, sort of getting past half of them, come around this sharp bend, big log on the road as a windy as day. I hit it, high-sided, helmet come flying off. I landed on my head this side, and then there's a girl with us, and she had my mate on the back of her bike, and she had nowhere to go, and ran over my shoulder and ran over my head.
Jesus.
I had like scabs on my arm in like the pattern of a motocross tyre.
Wow.
So I woke up in the CT scan, the tube.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. I woke up in that. That was my first memory after that. And
wow.
I thought I was dead.
How long did that take to recover? Did you have surgery?
I didn't have surgery, so they were about to fly me to Penrith. I was at the Hawkesbury Hospital, I think. they were about to fly me to the Penn Hospital or whatever, because they were going to cut into my skull to release the pressure because my brain was swollen and things like that. But then I think mum and dad got a second opinion. They said, we'll give it a bit, and it sort of ended up being all right. So
just
it was a couple of weeks
stabilised in time.
Yeah, a couple of weeks off school or a week off school. I can't remember.
So lucky, man.
So I blame that for my bad memory, which my missus won't take that for an answer. But I'm like, it's true, but like, that's a proper reason. I'm telling 100%. You, I don't forget things on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't remember how you got to hospital and
so mum put me on. This is like when you're 16 and you have crazy ideas. They put me on the back seat of one of the boys' bikes, and then 2 of them rode side by side and held me up while they rode back down the road. It's probably 800 meters back to my house, and I reckon I was still talking in that. I don't have any recollection, but I could remember it, where the key was, what the alarm code was. They said there was my neighbour or something was there and I only moved in, or a new mate that I'd only been around for a couple of months, and they said I just kept looking at him saying, "Who are you?" So like they sort of, I had long-term memory, but that short-term memory is gone. And then instead of renting an ambulance, they rang mum, and mum raced home, and then I was just covered in blood. Raced me down to the hospital, and
parents would have freaked.
Yeah, mum was freaking out a bit.
Is that the worst injury you've had?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest incident.
Yep.
The other one was sort of common breaks, and did my MCL 2 weeks after moving to the snow for the first time. So I was in a leg break. I was in a leg brace from my ankle to my groin for the first 7 weeks of the snow.
Oh, that would have been torture.
So I was making beds with a peg leg. I had nothing else to do. I'm like, I might as well just make beds all day and make money, and then just getting the piss every night. And
Jesus.
Party, so.
And just being teased by the snow.
Oh, everyone else would go up the snow and I'm just sitting at home by myself and...
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, it wasn't, by the time it recovered, and then it was weak, so I couldn't really properly snowboard. That was my first sort of season living down there, but still had a lot of fun with the boys.
Do you ride it all now?
I've got a Harley and got a little 110 motocross bike, but finding time to do anything these days is the issue.
Yeah, especially when you got 2 businesses.
Yeah.
Got a wedding to plan.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot going on, hey?
Yeah. Try to make some more time for myself, I think.
Yeah, is that, what do you do to relax? And
I like playing a bit of golf.
Yep.
Not the greatest, but I enjoy it a lot more when I'm good at it.
Where do you mostly play?
Just at Richmond.
Yeah.
Mostly at Richmond, or a little bit out at Linwood at Pitt Town.
Yeah. Have you been on any golf trips away?
Nah, we've talked about it a lot, like in our punters club group that we've got going on.
Do it, man. One day I did a Gold Coast golf trip. It was 4 days.
Yeah.
Like Royal Pines, Sanctuary Cove, couple of other places, and it was awesome. They come and pick you up from the motel, bus you out to the golf course. You just get off the bus. There's carts waiting there for you.
Yeah, so that's what you want, convenience.
Straight to the tee. They don't even you don't even touch your clubs. Like they get them out of the bus, hook them up to the buggy.
See,
mate,
can't put a price on convenience. I feel like.
Definitely not. So,
and it's still pretty cheap too. We had one planned a couple of months ago before COVID hit to go to Hunter Valley and play golf for a few days, but sort of got canned because of COVID. But yeah,
if you get a chance, do it, man. Good. If you go back to what teenage years, what advice would you give to yourself now?
Travel as much as you can and just enjoy life. Like you're only young once.
Yeah.
You think you got it hard then, but there's a million more things to worry about once you start to get older. Like,
yeah. 100%.
But back then, it's just my parents would go away and we'd get on the piss 15 nights in a row and still go to work and just have the time of our lives. Like it was the funnest thing, but we still thought we were stressed and stuff like that. And then it's like, you're only young once, so make the most of it. Yeah. Enjoy yourself.
Good advice, man. I wish I had given myself that advice as well.
Oh, 100%. I wish I travelled a lot. I didn't really start travelling until a bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, you only get one chance to see the world, I guess, and each their own, I guess. But some people aren't fazed by it, but
yeah, hopefully if COVID settles down and business settles down a bit, you can start traveling again.
Yeah, 100%. COVID's biggest concern.
Any goals for CrossFit coming up?
No, not really.
Just again,
I want to get in shape. Like I remember when I went to Europe a couple of years ago, I had a personal trainer. I wasn't doing CrossFit at that point. And I was in pretty good shape and I was so confident in myself and had my shirt off everywhere and thinking I was mad. But now I'm soggy as. I'm like, there's no way I'm not even getting in a singlet at the moment. I'm wearing T-shirts until I trim up a little bit. So I don't know. I think I just want to get in the routine. Like I'm kidding myself saying I'm going to do 5-6 days a week. Like that's just too far out of reach. But if I can do 3, maybe 4 days a week, eat pretty healthy, then that's sort of...
Mate, start with 2.
Yeah, that's something I can be happy with, yeah.
Start with 2, eat well, and then you add your 3rd.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so on.
I like the idea of like coming in on a Saturday morning like you fellas do and, going out and getting some breakfast and training, getting some breakfast, starting your day right. And it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. You still got your whole day ahead of you. So trying to cut back on work and not work Saturdays as much anymore and enjoy the weekends a little bit more.
Are you doing this Saturday?
Nah, I'm playing golf Saturday morning, I think.
Okay. I'll let you off with that.
I think I've got an 8
the following Saturday, but not negotiable. 6 a.m. CrossFit into Black Duck breakfast.
Done.
Rito and Sammy.
I'll be here.
All right. Mate, thanks so much for doing this.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
I've got a couple of like just quick rapid fire questions for you. What's your favourite takeaway meal?
Viviano's.
What's that?
Italian restaurant at Windsor.
Yeah, what do you get there?
I'll get like mussels. Everything delivered. They deliver everything. We go there through COVID. Me and Bree got it at least once a week.
Yeah, right.
What I get, mussels, oysters. They do anything. They deliver anything.
Fuck, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I got real hungry.
Yeah, exactly right.
What's your favourite all-time movie?
Sherlock Holmes, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Gladiator.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Gladiator's a classic. There's sort of movies I can keep watching sort of over and over again.
Yeah, that's a sign
like Step Brothers. I don't know. A lot of variety. Good. Like there's heaps of movies that I can watch multiple times.
Yeah, that's when you know it's a good movie and you can watch it a couple of times. And be okay with it and still find it entertaining.
Yeah, my missus gets a shits like I had Sherlock Holmes on a couple of nights ago, and she's like, "We're not watching this again." I'm like, "Shh, it's all right."
GC wants to know if you're still filming the In-Betweeners.
I've been told that joke plenty of times, mate. He's got similar personality traits compared to me. I've been told as well. So
yeah.
Cheers, GC.
And yeah,
he is a good person to travel with.
Yeah,
gets you out of bed in the morning. There's always got something to do and motivates you. So
mate, he'd
shout out to you, GC.
He'd be relentless, mate, to travel with.
Oh, mate,
he's flipping coins at airports to decide where to go.
Yeah.
What the?
No, but he's good to travel with because he's always like he gets you out of bed in the morning. Like, gets you out of the bed in the morning. No, let's just do it. Let's just go do it, and it sort of makes the trip better. So
yeah,
that.
He's like
little period in Miami. He cost me. We missed a flight to New York from Miami a couple of years ago because we were out partying with the Sapphire Shark.
Yeah, okay. We'll discuss that later, mate. If you could have any elite talent or superpower, what would you have?
I'd love to be good at golf. Superpower. I don't know. I love to fly because I hate traffic. It does my head in. So
yeah,
to fly would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't rate traffic jams, do you?
Nah, they do my head in.
I don't think anyone does.
Nah.
Flying's a good one, but
yeah, I'd love to be able to fly. It'd be good.
Last question, mate. If you're down to your last $20 and then it's all over, you die, how would you spend it?
$20.
$20. Maybe some mussels at.
Yeah, exactly. Have a punt back something and try to turn it into some more.
Stay alive a bit longer.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Get something good to eat. Get a beer and a feed maybe.
Sounds good, brother. Hey, thanks so much again. Thanks for the beers, mate. And
cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
So next Saturday, definitely 6 a.m. we're on, all right?
All right. I'll be.
Thanks,
mate. Cheers.